It's funny, I don't always watch Dateline anymore. I don't know why. I just got out of the habit.
Because they're too long.
Sometimes they really drag stuff out. Long. But they did a full 2 hours on the Utah Kohberger, Idaho Kohberger case.
I think it's the best Kohberger thing.
Oh, definitely.
That's been done so far.
There's a lot more known. They had a couple of investigators who've really been working on the case.
Although, I got to say, there's the biggest, it could have been me in there.
Oh, I know. And by the way, just the mom of the girl who it could have been.
That's what I mean, yeah. Why did they interview her?
Well, because she decided to stay away for an extra day, so the daughter had to stay at their house. She would have been at their house, and by the way, just the mom had huge tits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is it every chick in this story is so beautiful?
Yeah, every chick, yeah.
Did you notice that the new roommate that wasn't murdered, Dylan?
Yeah.
She was a knockout.
Yeah, they all were.
Maddie was so pretty.
Yep.
I mean, and so they all were. And then also
even their boss at the clothing store.
Yeah, the boss.
Which, why is that person being? It's not important.
She was beautiful. She looked like Erica Francis from Fox 2, didn't she?
Yeah, she did have that girl on Dateline had too much makeup on though. If you notice,
the Dateline reporter.
Yeah, no, the Dateline that girl, like one we're just
the one the boss. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah,
I wanted a more natural look for her.
Yeah, I would say she should look more natural, but she was quite attractive. It's like, how can there be so many pretty people in one story? It was weird.
Yeah.
But they came up with a lot of stuff. I mean, it's really fascinating seeing what he's doing with his phone all this time.
Yep.
He's Googling Ted Bundy, which he misspelled Ted Bundy's name.
I know.
How do you misspell Ted Bundy?
Because you got a boner over murder. You can't think straight.
August the 16th, he Googles Ted Bundy. He Googles this Bundy author and more Bundy research. Then August 21st.
I mean, his defense, though, is the perfect cover for that. And they could just say he's a PhD candidate in criminology. He's interested in this stuff, doesn't he?
Well, it's not that perfect when you see where his car was.
What do you mean? It's crazy.
August 21st, he gets a ticket 2 miles from the house where the murders occurred at 11:40 p.m. He's out driving at night all the time.
Constantly. Or hiking
for not having a seatbelt. And then he Googles a couple days later, when can cops detain you? Mm-hmm. Then he's Googling porn, passed out, forced, drugged, and sleeping, all control and domination porn, which is just gross. Mm-hmm. And then as a teaching assistant, he was getting a lot of shit. He had just started as students felt he was sexist and had a problem with women. And then he was belittling a professor who spoke poor English, which is, they really have professors that speak poor English? That's pretty interesting.
Wait, are you being serious?
So you're on the side of Kohberger on that one.
Are you being serious? I think.
No, I'm not backing him up. I'm just saying, but interesting that you have professors that speak poor English. It seems like a professor should be able to speak reasonable English.
I assumed it was probably English is their second language. Maybe they're from India or something.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I'm not taking Kohberger's side. I don't
get a room with Kohberger. Jeez.
Maybe their English wasn't poor, but anyway. Then there's a student named Ni Young Koo who was a classmate of his, also going for a PhD, and she liked him, which is so weird. It's like, nobody likes this guy. He's a total incel.
He's a hot-headed incel, too.
And she befriends him, and sounds like she was kind of into him, which is so weird. And then she wants help with a security system because she's concerned about somebody rooting around in her place. And then she's gone.
Which started, by the way, because she had a backup key in her desk in the office that she shared with Kohberger, and it disappeared. And so she's like, "Hey, Kohberger, have you seen this key?" He's like, "What? Huh? What's going on? It's crazy."
Yeah, and then it reappears. It reappears in her desk 2 hours later.
Yeah, because he totally stole it.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
And then somebody rearranges the cosmetics in her bathroom. They're all put in a row above the toilet when they were not there before. And then she has a cake that she was going to throw out, and it's in the microwave for some reason. So he's just making his presence known.
Yeah.
Then, so she's like, oh my God, look what someone's been in my place. And her watch is missing, and she's got a letter that's missing. So, of all people, she calls Kohberger.
Booger.
And spends the night at his place. No sex, no interest in sex.
Oh, he beat it off when she fell asleep.
Of course he did.
He walked
probably right next to her.
Beat off, yes, of course.
But, and then she decides she wants that security system, has him install it, you idiot. And then she starts putting two and two together and realizing, oh my God, can he see what's going on? Did he break into my place? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, obviously.
Couple serious issue shallow thoughts. Number one, guy takes terrible pictures.
Lots of selfies.
He takes selfies all the time.
Not just selfies, but he's taking pictures like, this is my new apartment. when he
yeah.
It's like, that's a terrible angle. It's got like the dumpster in it. Took pictures of his license plate in his car and everything.
Who takes a picture of their license plate?
Well, I think the second time.
When you're going to murder 4 people and you want your license plate photo?
The second license plate was his new license plate. Right when he got it, because I didn't know that part, but he got rid of the
I got your license plate number.
Pennsylvania plates and put Washington plates
after
on.
The murders.
Yes.
Yeah. And
the other serious shell of thought is, boy, he really thought that chicks were in his league that were not just the ones he murdered, but the girl that he met at the pool party.
Yeah,
she was hot.
She was pretty.
The hiker.
She was very pretty.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, but remember, we also saw that he had a really ugly Tinder date. And that,
the birthing hips.
And that went like this.
I proceeded to pretend to throw up in the bathroom, hoping that, that would gross him out and he would leave.
Did it work?
Yeah. He had messaged me on Tinder and said that he was leaving and that he had a good time and that he would message me later. Right. And then about an hour later, he messaged me and he said that I had good birthing hips. And I just never messaged him back after that.
Game.
What the fuck? Well, that's the girl he was tickling, and she's like, "Stop tickling me." He goes, "I wasn't tickling you. What are you talking about?"
Well, the text that he sent to that Holly that he met at the pool party was weird as hell, too. Do you remember that?
Yeah, about, I'm really fascinated with hiking. Do you plan on going hiking sometime soon?
Yeah.
And she was weirded out. She didn't even respond.
Had no game.
So then in October, they start seeing there's more visits to King Road where the 4 girls live. After dark, late at night, he just drives over there for no reason whatsoever in successively smaller loops around. Also, more pictures of women who appear to be following the girls at the King Road's house, because apparently other hot chicks follow other hot chicks, I guess.
Yeah, and
so he's got all these swimsuit pictures.
Yeah, that he kept on his phone, too.
And he's Googling more porn with drugged women or sleeping women.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even think about this, but it's so obvious. The fact that they put everything on TikTok and social media.
Yeah.
He knew everything about that house and about them.
He did. He knew the inside of the house because of all the pictures that they posted and everything, and the time frames, too.
I mean, it's pretty diabolical, the planning he put into this. I mean, he's an idiot and didn't follow certain things that got him caught.
Well, it's not that easy to murder 4 people, especially when there's 2 extra people in the house.
He was surprised by him, yeah.
But he was definitely going for what Manson was going for with the Sharon Tate murders. And it's just it's not easy to pull out. By the way, Manson did not murder anyone himself. I just want to make that clear.
That's right.
Because a lot of Manson fans get disappointed when it's not clear. October the 14th.
Baby, won't you light my fire?
I love that. Manson never killed anyone.
He didn't. He really didn't.
Neither did Hitler.
October the 14th.
Not directly.
He gets pulled over for running a red light. And by the way, the police video on that, he looks so creepy in that police video. Just like,
which time?
When he gets pulled over for the red light and he's talking to a female cop.
And asking a million questions about the law.
Yeah, and the crosswalks. Oh, crosswalks don't work that way in Pennsylvania.
What are you talking? He said they didn't have crosswalks in Pennsylvania. I guarantee you there's a crosswalk.
Of course there are.
Within a mile of your house, dude.
Then October 19th, he Googles, can psychopaths behave pro-socially? So they assume that he's asking about himself. Then he starts Googling himself 4 times in 13 days. Get over yourself, Kohberger.
Then nothing came up when he Googled himself.
November the 2nd, Washington State has a meeting with him about an improvement plan because of all these complaints about him being having problems with women. He had a confrontation with a female student at her car. Then on November the 7th, he, again, at night, is within 100 meters of the Kings Road house with the 4 people he would eventually kill. That is his 23rd visit to their house.
Wow.
Without ever going in the house. All of them after dark. Then November 10th, he stops using his debit card. November 11th, he starts trying to clear things from his computer. He's deleting things. He's using anti-forensic methods to try to clear evidence off his computer of, I guess, previous searches, etc. Then on November the 12th, which is game day, quote unquote, at 8 p.m., he's watching YouTube, and the people in the house are all going about their evening, their plans, their partying. They all get home around 2 a.m. There's a DoorDash order, and then if you want to go to Dateline, I've got it queued up, Brandon, to what exactly happens on that night. I've never heard anything this specific, and I thought it was absolutely chilling just going through this. And
Well, you know why he gets caught now, too, after seeing that, or at least I did.
well, there's a few reasons. One, he's on security camera.
He was surprised. No, I just mean that he was surprised at who was where and how many people were in the house.
4:07 a.m. and pitch dark. The white car caught in these images obtained exclusively by Dateline, a car that had been captured on video for some 38 minutes on the streets around 1122 King Road in Moscow.
Okay, pause for 1
Had gone
second.
off camera.
He had turned his cell phone off at 2:54 a.m., and then the white Elantra is first seen at Kings Road, circling the house around 3:30 a.m. It circles again at 3:33 a.m., again at 3:38, again at 3:40, again at 3:56, and he spins around again at 3:58. Then at 4 a.m., Xana's food order from Grubhub arrives. That is apparently the last activity. And then at 4:06, the white Elantra parks. So he's apparently getting up the nerve to do this in the previous. He circles it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before he parks. And he enters through a second floor sliding door, the kitchen sliding door, and I think he pretty much covers it from there.
And apparently parked nearby. Inside the car, police believe, the driver and a knife with a 7-inch blade, the Marine Corps Fighting K-Bar. What was going through the mind of the person carrying that knife? Dr. Brucato can only speculate based on his years of study.
My sense is that it was a culmination of a life where over and over again you're being rejected and you're being knocked off a pedestal.
Yep.
You say, that's it. It's time to enact the fantasy.
To illustrate what might have happened inside the house on King Road in the minutes that followed, we had this animation built. It's based on the recollections of former residents and court records, police affidavits, real estate, and social media images of the house. And we've also spoken to sources close to the investigation.
All right, we accept
who
it.
gave us their theories of what happened. Sometime after 4:07 a.m., the killer entered the house on the second floor through an unlocked sliding kitchen door and went quickly and directly upstairs to Maddie Mogan's bedroom. Sources close to the investigation have told us that is one of the reasons they believe Maddie was the killer's target. But almost certainly to the killer's surprise,
pause
he
for 1
discovered
second.
that Maddie was...
Maddie, I don't mean to be crass, but Maddie is the most attractive person. She's just...
I disagree.
What do you like?
Oh, you like
Who do you
Kaylee?
prefer?
Yeah, Kaylee.
Oh, I don't think it's... Well, personally, I prefer Maddie. I don't know. What do you think, Mark?
Twitter poll.
Oh, jeez.
It's terrible. They're both gorgeous.
They're like almost twins, to tell you the truth.
I think Maddie's got those pretty brown eyes. She's got a big rack too, and they're both pretty perfect, to be honest. They're both beautiful college girls. I thought Maddie was the most attractive, but okay, we'll say it's close.
Now, in the famous picture, Maddie's the one with Kaylee on her shoulders, right? The famous picture?
Yeah, she's on top of the shoulders, and
Kaylee's on top of Maddie's shoulders.
No, Kaylee's got
I had it backwards?
Wait, isn't Maddie the one that's ducking in the front?
Oh, boy, I don't know. Now I don't know who's who.
Maddie's the one with the rack.
No, you're wrong.
What do you mean?
Kaylee Gonclaves is the one with the rack, dude.
Okay, Google Kaylee.
Trust me, I know my Kaylee.
I know which one's Ethan, I'll tell you that much. Not terrible.
And
See, look at right there. Look at.
Oh, that's Kaylee?
Yeah, that's Kaylee.
Wow. Yeah, Kaylee's
the one on top,
Okay,
right?
Kaylee's the hottest.
No,
Kaylee's got her. They do look alike. They do look a lot alike.
Wait, so who's the one on the bottom?
Kaylee is holding Maddie on her shoulders, and Kaylee is, in my opinion,
Well,
the
I think I
hotter
like
one.
Maddie more than.
But I agree, they're both beautiful. By the way, on the left there is the new roommate who's also hot. Look at her.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Okay, that was really a silly interruption. I'm sorry. Kaylee's the
Point
hottest.
is, they're all hot.
Alone, Kaylee was sleeping in the same bed.
Something happened that hadn't been planned on.
The killer attacked anyway. There was a struggle. It was noisy. Multiple sources close to the investigation speculate that Xana, downstairs in the second floor kitchen on TikTok, heard thumping and went to investigate. The killer must have heard this, our sources said, and turned his attention away from Maddie and Kaylee and began chasing Xana.
And in that kind of chaos, this thing gets dropped.
The thing being the sheath for the K-bar knife, the one found on Maddie's bed. Those same sources have told us that with the killer in pursuit, Xana desperately tried to reach her bedroom where Ethan was sleeping or was possibly passed out. But as she reached the bedroom, the killer was on her. What one source described as a hell of a fight ensued.
Pause for a second. Why didn't she run out of the house? I guess because she figured she's going to catch her.
Yeah, maybe.
So she might as well bring Ethan into it. Oh, boy.
Well,
it didn't really work.
Run to your boyfriend for help.
I know. Got Ethan killed because Ethan was crashed.
Yeah, it sounds like Ethan was really passed out.
4:17 a.m., 10 minutes after the suspect car turned in toward 1122 King Road. The security camera on that neighboring house picked up sounds, including what police described in charging papers as distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. Here are those sounds. A dog began to bark, as if something was wrong. Then, multiple sources close to the investigation told us, with Xana either dead or dying. The killer saw Ethan in bed, possibly passed out after a night of drinking. And with one swift blow of the knife, blood spatter shows, the killer struck an artery.
When you're dealing with crimes that are motivated by anger toward women, the men that are in the way are rapidly dispatched.
And then, according to our sources, the killer did something strange. He carved Ethan's lower legs.
What?
Carved is the specific word that was used.
If you view that person as having gotten in the way of what it is you're trying to play out, you might be overwhelmed with anger toward them and do something extra.
Plus,
and I think it's a clue.
What did he carve?
What the fuck does that mean?
What did he carve? A BK in it? I mean, what?
No, it doesn't specify. Did he hack at it because he was so pissed at Ethan?
Then wouldn't you say he hacked at it?
Why is he so mad at the guy? The guy did nothing. He took one. The guy was
Because he's
asleep.
getting laid and Kohberger isn't.
Okay.
I think that was the implication by that.
But he's going to take the time to carve his leg. I guess he thinks this is the last person in the house, so maybe he thinks he's safe because he does sit down at that point. He's like, "Oh my God, it's tiring killing four people. Fuck,
yeah.
I got to sit down for a second."
That there was a sexualized component to this because this was about women. There was a special anger toward that male.
It looked like the killer sat down after that, said an investigative source, and left behind impressions in blood on a bedroom chair.
He's exhausted. He's gone through 4 people.
People that commit mass murder don't anticipate the adrenal exhaustion that's going to overwhelm them when they do it.
But as he left the bedroom, intending to exit through the same kitchen door where he entered, the killer was surprised again by another roommate. Dylan Mortensen had heard various unexplained noises that night, and at that moment opened her bedroom door. After hearing a noise she said she thought was crying coming from Xana's room, according to a police affidavit.
She's bothered by the noise. She opens the door and sees this individual coming down the hallway.
Later in charging papers, police said Dylan told them she heard a male voice say something like, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And saw a
Typically
male in
awkward
black
thing for this
clothing
idiot
and a
to say.
mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. She said he was 5 feet 10 or taller, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows.
Basically a loser.
The male walked past her as she stood in a frozen shock phase.
If she had said one word, if she had screamed for help, if she didn't find the moments too overwhelming, I think she would have been killed too.
But she was not. Dylan said the man walked away while she locked herself in the bedroom.
She knows something's wrong. She's under the influence of alcohol. She's between being awake and asleep.
He would have probably assumed that she was about to call 911. He better get the hell out of there.
Definitely. His primary objective now is to get out of there and not to get caught.
And here, at 4:20 a.m., is suspect vehicle 1 as it burst back into the range of that security
Look
camera.
how fast this car
At
is
a high
going.
rate of speed, the car raced toward the intersection, turned right, and disappeared from view. This car left in such a hurry, he almost hit somebody.
Yep, that's right. He's panicking.
Look at that. He is flying, man.
He wasn't the only one.
Wow. Unbelievable. God, he was flying around that corner. Holy shit.
That Dylan, man. That chick's gonna be messed up.
I cannot
I don't know. I don't know how you keep going after that. She's the one that waited forever to call 911 too.
The thing is, that's crazy to me is, that all ended at 4:20, and following, Dylan is texting with the other roommate. She says, get down here. She runs down there, and then for 6 or 7 hours, they crash and just fall asleep.
Yes, although they woke up at 7:30, and one of them was looking at Instagram.
Yeah,
what?
Laying in bed, just scrolling. I mean,
After that, it's hard. I don't mean to criticize them or sound critical. I am stunned they didn't call 911 or one of them.
right away, I'm stunned. Yeah,
Absolutely, because you'd be scared that he was going to come back, but they didn't.
Or if you weren't that scared, you would go maybe check on your roommates. Yeah, it's just that's a hard thing to comprehend.
It is. I don't want to judge, but then he leaves. He flies away in that white Elantra, and then Dylan calls the roommate, "Come to my room, run!" Dylan runs to her room. She sees Xana's body lying on the floor, which she thought she was passed out. Then at 4:48, after they've, I guess, just freaked out for 15 minutes in the room, Kohberger turns his phone back on. His car is moving west, back towards where he lives. And then at 6:17 a.m., he calls his dad, and they have a 36-minute call. What? He then calls his phone. Oh, by the way, he's on mommy's cell phone plan.
Jim Bentley?
Jim Bentley was on for 10 years more than BK.
How many people did Jim kill?
Did I do good, Daddy?
With his lists.
He's on mommy's account. I can't believe that. And Bentley was on 10 more years than Kohberger. He makes 3 calls to his dad that morning, including one that lasted 54 minutes. What the fuck is he talking to his dad about?
Oh, I'm sure he's bullshitting his dad. Because with the parents and stuff, you kind of think, well, what did they know? And I think his dad was pretty curious, or at least thought that maybe it was him.
His sister,
pretty quick.
Wondered when they came up with a white Elantra. The sister was like, could he have been part of this?
And then, Dad thought that too when they were driving the white Elantra back home with the new plates, and then they get home and Kohberger is going through his garbage gingerly.
Wearing gloves all the time.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Anyway,
if I ever see you two guys, either of you guys wearing gloves, I'm calling police.
Well, it's going to be you two guys.
Going through
me.
the garbage.
I'm looking for you two guys. Then at 9 a.m., he's back at the crime scene.
Yeah.
He's back driving around the house where he has just killed 4 people. 2 people are still there alive, and he's driving around the crime scene.
What's wrong with him?
Then at 10:30, he's home at 10:30. He's also cleaned up and looks a little dressed up. He's wearing a nice button-down shirt.
Oh,
and
he definitely thinks he's hot.
He takes a selfie, a thumbs up. He's making a selfie and giving a thumbs up to the mirror.
Yep.
You fucking weirdo, incel loser. Then at 11:30 a.m., he's back in the car, driving south, they believe disposing of something. Hard to say, maybe the knife.
Yeah.
Like, look at that loser.
By the way, his got tiny thumbs, doesn't he?
He does.
It's like the smallest thumb.
Isn't he so creepy looking?
Oh, yeah.
In that he's just
he's
murdered
pale.
4 people. He looks the happiest he looks in any selfie he takes.
And he's still not showing any teeth. That's as much as he can smile. By the way, nice button in your shirt all the way to the top.
You turd. You are guilty of being a nerd.
And by the way, nice taking a photo with your Bluetooth.
I know. What is
headset
that?
in, dork.
Well, he's listening for the news, hoping it's in the news.
Yeah.
Incel.
Nice background of your stupid shower.
Yeah, where's your shower curtain, by
I
the way?
can't get over how small his thumbs are. Those thumbs are so tiny.
That thumb is really
His
weird.
nose is bigger than his thumbs.
The 911 call was 11:56, and actually, you know what? If you go to 11424, we can hear that 911 call, which is talk about a person being shaken up.
It's Dylan, right? Isn't she the one?
Yeah, it's Dylan, and it's about as shaken up as I can fathom somebody being on a 911 call. I mean, this person sounds really
Do you
shaken
remember
up.
when they released the text messages between her and another friend? Well, I don't think the friend was in the house.
Yes.
About what they saw. One of the last things she texts is, "My phone's about to die." So is that possibly like she plugged her phone in and fell asleep, and that's why she didn't call 911? Is it that easily stupid?
I don't know. I think you just call because once they answer, they're
going to come over anyway. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of reasons maybe why she didn't call.
And then there's a lot of activity after this, I mean, days and weeks after, where he is on Amazon trying to buy that knife.
Yeah, the K-bar.
Because he needs the cover so he can act like, yeah, I've got that knife, but I got the cover. I didn't leave a cover there. What are you talking about? I've never been there. Mm-hmm. And then every time he declines to buy it, because I think he thinks he's debating, like, should I buy it? Should I not buy it? But he never does buy it.
Yep.
So here's the 911 call.
56 a.m.
911 location of your emergency. Hi, something is happening. Something's happening in our house. We don't know what. What is the address of the emergency?
The 911 call is absolutely harrowing. It's clear that they were totally shocked. You can see how they're overwhelmed by this event.
Okay,
An
we can hear
unidentified
it.
female speaker stepped in to help.
The address, 1122 King Road. One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night.
Moscow police were there within minutes and found, in the silent bedrooms, carnage. On the second floor, Xana lying in what one source close to the investigation called a massive pool of blood. Ethan dead in their bed. Upstairs on the third floor were Maddie and Kaylee still together in a bloody bed. All four had been stabbed to death. And then the awful news raced around the college and around the town and to Maddie's best friend, Ashlyn. Ashlyn, who would have been there that night with Maddie and the others.
That's an awfully sexual little thing they showed there.
Yeah, them zipping each other themselves up in one sweatshirt.
Ashlyn's mom, Angela.
It could have been me.
It was a pain inside that you can't really explain how your body's feeling. And then knowing
Is she enjoying the spotlight a little bit? The mom?
Yeah,
that I saw
kind of think so.
in my daughter it was just like my house stopped.
Yeah.
Just stopped for months.
It didn't happen to you.
How soon was it that you thought, my God, she was going to be there?
I didn't think about that right away.
That's how selfish
All I
she
could
is.
think about was the kids. But she just cried in her bed. She didn't want to talk about it. We just cried together for a long time.
Makes you sad too, doesn't it?
It does. Sorry.
Where's Dad? What's Dad doing?
Yeah.
Wondering why you guys are crying upstairs.
It's Erica Francis.
It was Maddie's former boss and friend.
Does she look like
Katie
Erica
Whitmire.
Francis, Brandon?
Yeah, she does.
And I really didn't believe it at first. It just really didn't seem real.
She probably gets a lot of creepers on Instagram.
But then following
Well, if she says,
up with
"Good
that,
morning,
just the lack
Detroit,"
of
how do you think my hair
information,
looks?
Why is she on this story?
so much
They did not
terror
need
in
her
our
on this
community
Dateline.
that, yeah, people, I didn't know how to act.
Maddie
I
actually
was
dumped her for
never
$2 an hour more.
gonna-
Yeah, that's right.
Instance.
Why
it
isn't
was
she
so
wearing
like a coming
shoes in the
home. It
interview?
really changed my mind about that.
Things
All right.
changed.
That's about all we get from them. But oh my God,
It's pretty wild.
something
Dateline.
else. What a story!
I remember
When's this
getting-
fucker going down? When's he?
I don't know. How can this be taking so
He's
long?
dragging it out.
I don't know. It's interesting looking at the difference between this and the Diddy case. Where the Diddy case, they're like, get this to trial because they're only going to get more information.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, you might as well take your time to make sure you're going to put him behind bars.
Yeah, that's the prosecution taking their time.
He's not
I don't
going
feel
to get let out. Yeah.
I do not feel they need to take this much time, though. I mean, it's like they have everything you need.